Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. Before we get started, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of our friends. The Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Search for them on Facebook. Central Minnesota Pond Racing. Search for them on Facebook. The historic Lancaster Motel for the ultimate Eastern trail riding adventure. Crane's Snowmobile Museum at 172 Main Street in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Vintage Snowmobile Club of America Quarterly Magazine. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Museum at Bear Brook State Park in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And lastly, if you decide to advertise with the Vintage Snowmobile Podcast, this could be your advertising message. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. I have an extra robust lineup of vintage snowmobile entertainment on tap for you tonight. In fact, if you are a lover of the classic RUPP brand of snowmobiles, we have the quote-unquote RUPP guy in the house tonight. He's going to be spending some time with us looking at some amazing RUPP sleds, talking about his racing career and racing plans for the upcoming season. So we have a very special episode on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us tonight, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast is simulcast to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be here waiting for you with another episode. Now, to our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you guys are the ones who make this all possible, and we very, very much appreciate that. So let's take a look at some quick comments, and we'll bring our friends on, and we will get the party started, as they say. BCJ Vids is in the house saying greetings back. We appreciate that. Our good friend David at Alaska Railroad says, good evening, Mike and friends. Everything's working great. Well, we appreciate that feedback. Let's see. We've got James Whiteside saying loud and clear, Mikey. Well, thank you. Mikey likes everything, just like the commercial used to say back in the day. Someone on Facebook is saying, good to see you. It's been too long. This is Josh from Priest Lake. Wow, out west. Wonderful, Josh. We've got to think about having you on again. I'd love to hear what your racing plans are for the season. Cool. Here we go. We have Mrs. Stull from home base in Wisconsin saying hello. Thank you, Becky, for being on. We appreciate that. Our good friend John Spranger Jr. says, sounds good, Mike, and good evening. Stacy and Art Fosler, regular viewers, are in the house saying, hey, Mike. Jim Holbrook from Thetford, Vermont says, sounds good. He's a regular viewer, and we appreciate that. One last comment, and then we'll bring our guests on. Reese Fleury is in the house. Good evening, Reese. Great to see you. Appreciate your coming on. So let me switch gears here with the old clicking of the mouse here and bring our friends on. How did I have that? Now we've got Bill Stull in the house, and we had it earlier where we could make his screen the biggest. How the heck was I doing that? Bear with me because I'm gonna once we get this straightened out, it's gonna look really cool. All right,
there
we go. All right, so Bill Stull and company, let me turn your mic on. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Well, we're doing really good.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate that. And
having us.
Well, sure thing. Tell the viewers, if you would, where are you coming to us from tonight?
We're coming from my body shop. We're sitting in the area. This little section here is our designated race section for the racing season. And we're in my new addition on my shop that I put on a few years ago. And basically what happens here for the most part is when we do a restoration on a car, it comes in here for buffing and assembly. And my shop is located in Polonia, Wisconsin.
Excellent. In fact, I'm going to take this opportunity for a shameless plug for your shop. We've got this graphic here. Got a phone number up there, all of the details if you're interested in having either vintage sleds restored or worked on, as well as muscle cars, anything like that. These are the guys to call. And if I understand correctly, you're sitting in the shop with your race team.
Yep. So what we have here, we have Matt up there, my nephew Will Stull. Those guys have been with me for a very, very long time. We built a lot of sleds together. We've traveled many, many miles together. You know, in racing, there's a lot of good times, a lot of bad times. We've been through it all. We've won, we've lost. Had to go through several accidents. Will had a bad accident up in Ironwood. I've had several bad accidents over the years. But we've been through it all. We won, we lost, and did mediocre. I mean, that's just how racing goes. And then the newest team member is Parker. He's a new employee also, and he's in the RUPP snowmobiles himself. His dad had been stopping here and buying parts over the years, and he's of age that he could get it right up here. He's almost got his license, so he's been working for me since last summer. And then who's not here is Becky, which you mentioned earlier. Becky's at home, and she's still a voice of Vintage. She is not racing. She retired a few years ago when she bought the Plum Cafe. And then my daughter Caitlin, she took the year off last year because her and her fiance decided they want to start a family. So Caitlin was pregnant last season, but she's itching and she's going to be back on her 340 Superstock.
Wonderful. So she'll be on the track again this season, it sounds like.
Yep.
Excellent. So let me get out of the way and let Rob ask a few questions. I'm sure he's dying to know what your plans are for the upcoming season and anything else. I'm sure he's got plenty of things he's thinking about right now to ask you.
How big a trailer do you have?
Could you repeat that, or it's a little bit hard to hear you?
How big a trailer do you have? Sounds like you're taking a lot of snowmobiles to the racetrack.
The trailer, it's a 48-footer. The trailer's got a lot of history. It was Mark and Tim Fashion's F&F Racing, and they had a team with Jimmy Herzig. And unfortunately, Jimmy lost his life in a racing accident. They ordered the trailer. They only used it 1 year, and it sat a number of years idle. And then they were kind of sponsors of mine. We worked through a lot of builds together when I was just young, getting into sport here. And then they ended up selling me the trailer. We've had the trailer since like 2007. And I mean, it's our home in the wintertime. It really is. It's got living quarters. It's got a full mechanic area. It's got a crane, so we don't push the sleds in and out anymore. So we've had that. There's been a lot of people in our trailer always looking at our trailer and our crane, taking pictures and stuff. So it's a back picture, but it's a 48-footer, fully insulated, two heaters. So it's a great trailer. We love it.
How many different machines you taking? How many classes you're going to run this year?
Okay, so this year there'll be 5 sleds in the trailer. So what we have here is my Supermod 250, my Supermod 300, and my Supermod 440. Those are my sleds. And then my daughter Caitlin, her 340, 1975 RUPP free air super stock. And then Will's going to race again this year. He's running RCAT 440 fan class, IFS class. Stock 440 fan.
That must keep the mechanic pretty busy.
Oh yeah, we all do our thing on the sleds. I mean, I'm into motors a lot. I'm into the tuning. I'm into the handling. The other guys are wrenching. We got to pull a motor apart or sharpen studs or carbide or whatever. I mean, it's a team effort. There's no doubt about it. So.
Yeah. So would Eagle River be your first race?
No. Well, unfortunately, the planned first race was Ironwood, and of course that's canceled, which is a little bummer. But if everything goes okay, it's not 100% for sure, but we may go to Canada for the December 9th. I believe that weekend is December 9th race.
Yes.
So we may go to Canada. We're predicted to have above normal conditions this year, so I don't know if the ice is going to come or not for us to practice. So if Canada's going on, we may travel just to go. These sleds are all ready to go for the most part. I mean, we got to do some maintenance, but they're ready to go. So we may go to
that's the super sled race in Winnipeg?
Yeah, Beausejour, yeah. Just north of Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't work out, hopefully get some testing. And then Paul Sockel's group, what is it? Ice Snowmobile Unlimited. Paul Sockel's group, they have a race January 6th, and we'll go to that for sure. If the race is on, of course. And then it's Eagle River.
So what's the furthest you travel for a race besides the Winnipeg one?
Yeah, that's the farthest we travel. That's truck and trailer. It's 12, 13 hours depending conditions and stuff. But that's the farthest we go. We used to go to Rock Rapids, Iowa. They had a really good race out there. We really enjoyed that. That's a 9-hour hike from here. We were going to go to Michigan last year, Raver Bay, but that didn't work out. But we like to get over on the other side of the pond and race a few Michigan races. But pretty much everything is here in Wisconsin. So some races are 1 day, some are 2. We may stay overnight if it's a little bit longer haul. But most of the time, if it's a 1 day race, we truck there and truck back.
Yeah. We're doing a big event at Eganville, Ontario, and then the following weekend, everybody heads down to Valcourt.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of invites to go out that way and race, and even to the what's it called? The Polar Bear Cup race. That's on I think on the western side of Canada.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of invitations to come up to Canada, east, west, and it's pretty cool to be wanted, but man, that's a lot of traveling.
Well, there's a race in New Brunswick, and it's 24 hours, and it's 1,000 miles, and they're looking for a vintage team to go in, and they want 2 machines. But it's 1,000 miles in 24 hours.
Wow.
On the trails.
That's ambitious.
Yep.
Well, cool. So we've got comments coming in. Let's take a few comments. Then we'll do an AMSOIL segment, and then we'll come back with some more Q&A and maybe even some close-up looks at some of those sleds. So let me find my place here. Oh, we've got a Fritz Rupp in the house saying, hello, Mike, Bill, and all. Cool deal. We've got James Whiteside saying, nice sleds, sweet. And then we've got Fred Coda in the house, first-time viewer from Winooski, Vermont, just the other side of the state where I live. Cool deal. And then our good friend David at Alaska Railroad says he's said many times the RUPP Magnum is easily one of the sweetest looking rides of all times, and he'd like to own one day.
Yeah, they sure are.
Absolutely.
When they were brand new, they didn't do the best. Obviously, it was 1976. All the potential was there, but they just didn't have everything, tuned right. And, then it was a little bit heavier sled, but without a doubt, I like all the old sleds, don't get me wrong, but the 76 Magnum is one of the best looking muscle sleds out there.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. And then also we've got David from Alaska Railroad saying good evening to Rob and the RUPP gang. Very cool. And then we've got James Whiteside saying Wisconsin is awesome. Sleds, beer, and cheese curds.
I'll never know for that.
Absolutely. Well, cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a moment to talk about AMSOIL for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're going to come back, ask you guys some more questions. And I'd like to encourage the viewers to please light up the comment section with any comments, questions, any thoughts you have for the team that we've got here while they're in the house. And let me try to put Rob full screen here, and he's going to talk to us about AMSOIL.
Good evening, folks. Every week we talk about AMSOIL, about becoming a preferred customer, and how you can buy the products directly from AMSOIL and save 25%. On Mike's website, there's a link you can click, and you can get an AMSOIL catalog, and it tells you all about all the products AMSOIL has available, and it even has the prices at every rate in it. So you don't know how much the retail price is and how much you're preferred. The average customer saves about $50 on a case. But every month every couple weeks they have a promotion. Last week just ended. If you ordered $45 worth of AMSOIL, you got a couple of free rags and the AMSOIL funnel they sent to you. But this month they changed it up. If you order $49 worth of oil, you can either get the gas additive to clean the tank and all that, or if you got a diesel, we have diesel all in one. For an extra $5, you get one of these. Now, a lot of people's been asking me, well, what about if I only buy 1 quart of Interceptor and 2 quarts of Dominator and an engine oil, 20W50. Where'd my screen go? There it is. What's that one there? A Z-Rod oil. It doesn't matter. You can mix and match the cases of AMSOIL and still get your $45 worth of product and get the free gift. My favorite product is this one here. I call it like the toothpaste container. You squeeze the gear lube out and 100% of it comes out. You ever try to fill a rear end of a car with a bottle that's shaped like this? You're trying to pour it in the rear end when you're under the car, or you hook a pump on it. You're trying to pump it and hold the holes in the hole. This is a perfect setup. It comes in automatic transmission fluid, gear lube, ATV oil, and all that comes in that. So anybody wants to know more about the AMSOIL product or how to get a preferred customer account, that way you can buy directly from AMSOIL. And also this month, it costs you $10 for 6 months for a preferred customer. You buy $100 worth, AMSOIL puts $5 in your account. This month, they're putting $10. That way, in 6 months' time, when you go to renew, you already got $10 towards off your account. But if you order a couple more other times, you can almost get your account for free. So why not get an account and buy directly from AMSOIL and save the money? Best possible way to buy the products. Okay, I got more
Absolutely.
questions for those boys.
Oh, good. Well, cool. Yes, go ahead. Oh, and one last thing about the AMSOIL. If you're excited about what you've just heard and you'd like to get started with your own preferred customer account, just click the link in the description, and that'll get you right into the screen where you need to be, and it'll give me credit for it, which we appreciate it. This is how we finance this podcast, is by the AMSOIL sales. So if you click my link, it'll take you through to the preferred customer page, and then just a couple of clicks to sign up as a preferred customer, and now start shopping, and everything's going to come up at the deepest level of discount. It's the best possible value for AMSOIL. And with that out of the way, yes, Rob, please continue asking them some questions.
Okay, back in 1979, I raised a 79 SRX in A-class stock, and then I got a 76 SRX, and I moved up to the mod class. The only thing I hated worse was Merc is the RUPPs. They were all over me. They seem to handle better than other machines out there. Why do they handle so much better? Especially that one in the middle. They seem to sit lower or something.
Well, these are all super mods, so we're allowed to, do some things. But even like Caitlin's Super Stock, we're not allowed to mess with that bulkhead. And I mean, the 75 RUPP 3 or 40-inch wide ski stands, RUPP had camber built already into their spindles and into their bulkhead, and they just bite. They bite hard and they turn, and they're easy turning too. So I mean, you don't get wore out. But all my super mods here, like all three of these sleds all still retain the original bulkhead, and then we cut off the front cross brace, put our own tube on it. So we do our own, mods to it. But I'm a bit of a stricker. This is my 23rd year of snowmobile racing, and I've always been like never built from scratch 100%. Like all these have the original RUPP bulkheads in them. So I think I'm the only super mod racer out there that can say that, because we've seen some pretty good stuff over the years at the racetrack, and man, that's pushing them. I'm not one to race a big stink, but when we're ahead of them and we beat them sleds, it's a pretty good feeling. So
yeah. Well, in my territory, Bombardier is just the next state over, Quebec, and they don't like being beat by everybody. But Merc and you guys did a good job of beating them. Okay, when a friend of mine's a big RUPP fan, and he told me that Mick Rupp was the one who started the company. He had a speed shop, but in I wrote the date down because I didn't think it was that old. 1959, he started the speed shop, but in 1964, he started building the snowmobiles. I've never seen a 1964 RUPP.
Well, it's true. He started RUPP Industries in 1959, and in 1964, like he started messing with snowmobiles. I think they bought some and started planning designing. And then in 65, there were some prototypes built, but 66 was the real first year of production. RUPP snowmobiles was 66.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, we were working on a guy's RUPP, and we're having a hard time finding a part. And the machine sitting beside us was a Merc, and it's the same part. Did they interchange parts with Merc?
No, but depending on what year that was and how that happened, Lyle Forsgren worked for RUPP for 2-3 years, and him and Mickey Rupp butted heads, and Lyle left RUPP at the end of 73 to go work for Mercury, and in 74 Lyle invented the Merc Snow Twister, and he took a lot of ingenuity from RUPP to Merc, and he bettered it, truthfully. And we all know the history of the Snow Twister, and that was all basically came from Lyle Forsgren from RUPP.
So what motors do you have in those ones right there? Are they Kohlers? Well,
Okay.
the liquid wouldn't be.
This one right here is a 250 is an all liquid. So in 76, the RUPP Nitros and the Magnums all were liquid cooled, and that's a Zenoa liquid. And then this is a Kohler, and that was a Kohler. Those are free. This is a liquid.
Okay. At the end, when RUPP was starting to go downhill, did really Fuji Heavy Industrial buy them?
No, RUPP just, Joe Rucka closed the doors in 1980, and after 80, 81 actually is when they closed. The last known production sleds were 78, and in 79 they built about 50 nitros just from leftover parts, no changes. They looked exactly like the 78s, but they just had a little bit higher serial number. And in 79 they regrouped, and in 80 they tried to bring sleds back, but they just couldn't get the dealer status, and Joe Rucka closed it up in 1981.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. They're good looking machines, and hopefully at the end of the show we can hear one run.
I got a neat little note to add about Joe Rucka. Becky and I went out to Las Vegas this last week for 9 days. We were at the SEMA show.
Yep.
And I met Tracy Haruka, that's Joe Haruka's daughter. And I had a really good long conversation with Tracy, and it was very fun, and she's a great gal. And she talked about the biggest thing that Dad always brought home, the RUPP toys. And what that was, the RUPP Gojos, the RUPP Centaurs, the Rupsters, the Snowmobiles. She called them the RUPP toys.
Yep. RUPP had a lot of toys.
Oh, for sure.
Most of my friends had a RUPP mini bike.
Yeah, them too, right?
Yeah. And then they had that dune buggy.
Yeah, that was called the Rupster.
Yeah.
Now, we do have some questions coming in, which I appreciate because I'd asked the viewers to light up the comment section with some questions, and they've come through for us big time. So let's take a look at a couple of those. We've got Craig Westerhoff saying, first-time viewer, first sled of his was a StarCraft 400. Very cool, and we appreciate your coming on tonight, Craig. Hope you'll join us each and every Thursday night. Now, Stacy and Art Fosler are asking, do you ever race the 72 Nitro sled?
I have not raced the 72 Nitro. I've had plenty of 72 Nitro trail sleds, but Will here, years ago, he built the 72 Nitro for the 400 fan class, and it was truly an outclass sled because just the way the rule class structure was, he had to fall in the same class as a Polaris Starfire. Single pipe, dual carb, that was legal, fan cooled. And so he had some tough battles with that, but you won several times or something with the Nitro.
I had several wins and top 3 finishes, and I was just talking to a partner last night about that, and a buddy of mine had actually posted a video on YouTube when we raced at Wyomega with that, and I got second in that race, but I think for the final point standings that year, I got second or third with that.
Yeah, they're good machines. RUPP kind of ruled those classes in those early days. 71, 72, really good years for RUPP racing.
Yeah. And we've got another question. David from Alaska Railroad has a question for the RUPP men. He said, how many years did RUPP make the Magnum?
So the Magnum was first made in 1970, and then it continued in 71. Then 72, when Gene Bloom was really dominant, that was on a mod nitro. Could have been called a Magnum, but it was a mod nitro. Then they came back in 1973 with the RUPP Magnum. And then 74, the only race sled that they built was a few of the RUPP third dimensions. And then in 75, they made the Nitro Free Air, which could have been also called the Magnum, but it was called the Nitro Free Air. And in 76, here they built Magnums again, and that was the end of it. So 70, 71, 73, 76.
Nice. And then we've got Doug Renstra in the house. He's saying, hey there, Bill. He said, sweet sleds. Hope to see you at the track this year.
Great.
And then let's see. James Whiteside says, did I hear you correctly that you're going to Eagle River?
Oh, yeah, we'll be there for sure. Yep.
Good. So, James, you did hear that correctly. And we've got Gifford Howard saying, Bill, are you going to have anything to beat Sabrina this year?
So Howard, my buddy Howard. So I'm going to repeat exactly what Howard said to me. Is that because we've been riding pretty high in our 250, we did a lot of work, a lot of tuning. And let me just tell you, the Gifford brothers are great guys. They've helped me with clutching and tuning, and we've done a lot of talk back and forth. They've been great. They're great guys for the sport. I really love you guys, seriously. But Howard made a comment to me. He said that he's going to build a 250 just to kick my ass. Howard, I'm waiting for you to bring it on, buddy.
Why don't you tell him if he builds one, you'll drive it for him?
Yeah, he'll probably build one. Obviously, I'm always scarce to do, obviously, but
Yeah.
Nice. And then we've got James Spranger in the house. He says those are real cool RUPPs, and he's out there in Wausau, Wisconsin. He's a regular viewer. And then also our good friend and regular viewer Josh Leviker says he's from Turin, New York, and those RUPPs look great. And then one more comment, and then we'll get back to some question and answer. And I wanted to thank all of our viewers too for filling up this comment section with some questions. We really appreciate that. But James Whiteside says hopefully he's looking forward to meeting you guys on the track side here at some point this coming season.
So with that being said, I'd like to just let everybody know there's so many people that tell me they come to the racetrack, but they didn't want to come in the trailer, they didn't want to bother us. I mean, if we're working, I mean, come on in, it's fine. You don't even have to knock on the door, just come on in, and our trailer's open to anybody. If you want to come in and say hi, if we're working and we're in depth, I mean, all we ask is just, you know, just give us a little space, we'll work, we'll talk, and we just got stuff to get done in between rounds, but anybody's welcome in the trailer. So if anybody's at the track and just want to stop in, say hi, introduce yourself, you're more than welcome to stop in. But if everything's going good, we don't have much to work on, we're just kind of sitting around waiting for the next race and laughing, joking, and having a good time.
Nice. Yeah, that's good to know. And like he says, you know, if it looks like they're busy working, kind of keep it brief, just understand that they need to get some things done and, you know, have a quick visit and move on. But if things are laid back, it's a great time to visit.
Yep.
The racetrack guys mentioned to you, Eganville and Valcourt, Quebec. That's Howard Gifford's home tracks. Those ones. Yeah.
So can we back up a little bit on the question?
Sure.
So Howard said, do I have anything for Sabrina or whatever he said there? But I mean, that was a great, you know, world championship win she had last year. I mean, all the credit, I mean, goes to her or whoever wins that race at that time. And it was her last year, was her time. And you know, I've been tracing this thing, you know, ever since vintage racing started. I got 3 podiums, I got 3 thirds, never got a second, never got a first, and I finished 3 thirds and all the way to DNFs in that race. And you know, it hasn't been our best race, you know, since 2017. The picture on the wall, that 440 right there, that's like completely got destroyed. And I'm glad I didn't get destroyed with it because it was a pretty horrible wreck. But you know, and it shook me up a little bit, and I never thought that it would happen because I've been through worse accidents than that one, but that one somehow just got underneath my skin, and it messed me up for a little bit, but we're back. But, you know, truth be told, I mean, I'm going to be 55 this year, and I'm still doing it, and I'm still healthy, and I can do it, so we're going to give it another shot. When I was training and doing my whole program, when we ran the 800 class, like, I had every intention, like, I want to win this race. I'm going to win this race. You know, now, seriously, these 440s are so doggone potent, I'm telling you. Now it's just like, man, I want to get top 10. I mean, if you can make the front row, I mean, even the back row, last chance qualifiers, but if you can make the top 10, I mean, that's a win all by itself. So for us to sit here and say, yeah, we're going to make top 10, I can't predict that. I'm going to tell you we're doing the best we can. We've got good machine. Last year I thought it was good, but my stator went out. You can't control that, you know, and we're going to do the best we can, and I'm going to give another shot. But truth is, a lot of the time is catching up with me for that kind of racing. And I don't know, this may be my last year on the 440, maybe my last year, you know, trying to qualify for the WC. But I'm going to give it another shot. I know one thing for sure, the sun's going to be lighter because the driver's lighter, because I've been majorly working on losing some weight. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty pumped for the season, and we got good stuff, good equipment. The team's all set. Everything's kind of ready to go. I mean, we got stuff to do yet. Don't get me wrong, but we'll be ready. We're going to rock it this year for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, I know Gifford's brother. He just retired last year, and I think he was 68.
Yeah, he was doing good on the Stunner Jet. He was a couple of years ago. He was like the 440 championship up in Canada. All those races.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not going to quit racing yet. It's just maybe that 440 thing. Maybe, you know, I got a lot of risk here. You know, we got a huge business. I mean, man, we're so well known now. We got cars coming in from everywhere. You can't control. I mean, we can all drive down the road and get hurt, right? I mean, it's just a fact of life. But you know, when you put yourself out on a snowmobile going 85, 90 miles an hour plus, I mean, you're kind of put yourself in harm's way. So, just one thing that we have going on in our trailer is that if the guys aren't right there, but for sure, me, Becky, and Caitlin, my dad was born and raised in Stull. He was a Baptist, Southern Baptist style preacher, and I was born and raised in church. And every race that we go to, we pray that everybody has a safe race. Just not me, not Caitlin, Becky was racing, whoever. We pray that everybody has a safe race.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good vibration to have. It's because you got to think about everyone.
Yep.
And in the spirit of thinking of everyone, and I apologize, I'm losing my voice, but if your teammates are willing, I'd love to hear from each of them. Just maybe my name is and whatever thoughts they have about their background in racing and their goals for the season. If any of these guys are open to doing that, we'd love to hear from them and get to know them a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead.
So, I'm Will Stull. I've been trucking along with my Uncle Bill here for the snowmobile racing. I came and lived with him since I was 14, so I've been around this here since I was 14, 36 now, so 22 years I've been coming with him and doing that. And then I started racing back in 2010, I want to say it was, and raced till about 2017, and just been helping out on the pits and stuff. But even when I was racing, I was helping on the pit team and stuff, and getting back out on the ice this year, and I'm super excited for it, and I'm ready for the season. Hopefully Uncle does great, Caitlin does great. I'm just hoping for a great season and nothing but fun times.
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Cool deal. And who's next?
I'm Matt O'Clair. I started at the shop in 2005. I've been around the shop since '93. I live 4 houses from here, from work. Just was that neighbor kid that never would go away. And I started in 2005. I didn't do a whole lot that first year. I worked at the shop, but maybe 1 or 2 races, not a whole lot. But then 2006, it was all in, and it's been that way ever since.
Nice. Haven't let off the throttle yet.
No.
So I've had other people that have worked the shop, some younger kids, we all grew up, they moved on, but a lot of people have come and went. But Matt and Will, they've been by my side, and anybody out in the racing world knows who these guys are. I mean, they just know, and we're great friends. Not only am I their boss during the day, but Will's my nephew, Matt's one of my best friends. It's just we've got a good team, and we always have. And yes, there's been some ugly times. I mean, if anybody tells you there hasn't been, they're lying.
Sure. Yeah.
So, but we've never been ready to cut each other's head off either. So it's just those deals. It's all good. And then the last one, Parker. I mean, we need more kids like him out there. Young kid, energetic, wants to work in a shop. Holy crap, a young kid wanting to work in a shop. That's amazing all by itself right there, right? So
Yeah.
But go ahead, Parker. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Parker Phillips. I live in Plainfield, so I got a 30-minute drive up here every day, and I just want to be around RUPP snowmobiles. I've always loved them. My dad had them when I was growing up. I just thought they were cool, and well, perfect place for me.
Very cool. Well, nice to meet you, Parker, and the rest of you guys as well.
When you say that at Eagle River, you just like to be happy to be in the top 10. Isn't there like 40 people in your class? Top 10 is pretty good there.
There was like 60 entries last year.
60? Oh.
And
yeah.
It's very expensive to go up there. It's the hotel, the racing, it's $250 to enter the WC race. So I paid my $250. Sled. We had another bad ice season last year. We didn't get out and test. There was testing available, but we were a little bit late getting done that also, but we didn't get out testing. And what happened was on the stand, the sled sounded great. Everything seemed great. and put it on the ice. We nailed it. It revved up, and then it just kind of puked out. And so I had to pay another $250. We changed some things: coil stator, the easy or coil, CDI box, spark plugs, the simple things. Put that in there. Paid another $250. Went on the ice. Did the exact same thing. Came back to the shop after Eagle River's done. We did win the World Championship 250 Supermod class with that sled, so the weekend was fun with that. And then took the motor out, went down by Mike Linus, he does all my dynoing, and we put a new stator in it, ran out the back door, put the motor in the sled, and then we went to Paul Sockwell's race, and we won the 440 Supermod class there. And kind of a neat thing was Devin Fackrell was there, and he had his radar gun, and him and Newman, Dave Newman, he was there, and then another one, they had 440 IFS sleds there, but Devin was pretty cool to come out and tell me, and he announced it, and even on the internet said that Bill's RUPP was the fastest sled on ice that day, so we know that we're fast, and we know it's good, you know, but when you get into that WC stuff, not only do you have 3 laps, time trials, 5 laps to make the top 10, I mean, it's a lot of racing, and there's just so many variables in the snowmobile, like, you know, blow a belt or just whatever, anything can go wrong, seems like, so, yeah, but I think we'll be all right.
Good. Now the comment section is lighting up again. I got to thank our viewers for doing that. We really appreciate that. Here we go. We've got James Whiteside saying no spotted cow.
Point.
And then Harold Micheloni says, "Hey Bill, does this mean the car show season has come to an end?"
Yeah, it's mid-November. The car show season's over in Wisconsin.
Winding right down, sure. And Tommy Svobotny is saying, "Hello, Bill, from your Facebook friend."
Hey, bud.
And then John Spranger Jr. says, "I race in a 71. In 1971, a RUPP Magnum 440, a Mod 3. He won 4 races, had a lot of track issues, was fast and handled great."
Yeah,
Good.
stages. When he's talking about a lot of track issues, I know exactly what he's talking about. RUPP had dual drive on that sled, and they had little acorn nuts, and that was supposed to be your guides. And there's been a lot of RUPP sleds where the track has ran through, the track shifts to the right, and it rubs through the tunnel on the right-hand side. That was a problem for sure.
Yes, yeah. And Joe Zaynert says top 10. It's the front row, baby.
Yeah, I'm trying, man.
And then your daughter Caitlin Stull is in the house. She says you're a grandpa now. You got to be careful.
You got to throw that at me right?
And Derek Crittenden says, "Good luck racing this year. You and your team hope to see you up in Canada sometime." And then your lovely wife, Becky Stull, who's also the voice of Vintage, will be at Eagle River. And do you want to explain what that means, the voice of Vintage?
Explain the voice of Vintage? Oh, so...
Isn't she the announcer at Eagle River?
Yep, she's an announcer. She's been announced up there for a long time. And then, was it Brian or whoever's, another announcer they bring in, I don't know the name, but they've been a team announcing now for a number of years. They have a great time up in the booth, you know, sitting way up in the bird cage up there, and they can see the whole track, and it's a really neat view. I've been up there and watched some races up there, but what happened was, so people see me and they're like, "Oh, you're Bill, you're Elvis," you know, and take my hand. Well, anyways, there was a woman that heard Becky's voice and said, "Are you the voice of Vintage?" And Becky gives me crap because she didn't want anything to do with me. She was talking to Becky, you know. So, anyways, that's all that voice of Vintage started, and it's just been, you know, followed Becky forever. Now everybody calls Becky the voice of Vintage, and she does a great job. She knows numbers, she knows people, she knows she tries to go out and get a little bit of background about the person, so that always adds some flavor to the commentating that she does. So it's kind of neat, and she does a really, really good job. There's no doubt about it. She does a great job.
I was gonna say what's awesome with her is, yeah, you may not be able to think of the person's name right away if you're talking to her about a person, but as soon as you say the number, she knows that name associated with that number.
Very cool.
How long has she been doing that for?
Oh, a long time. She likes it. Especially Eagle River, because she doesn't be out in the cold, she's up in the warm, so I know she loves it, and she's going to do as long as she can too. So.
Very cool. Yeah, big shout out to Becky for sure.
Yeah, because Eagle River can be cold.
Well, cool. Any more questions, Rob? Or
I know Eagle River can be cold there. And,
Yeah.
and next,
We've had some nice weekends out there, but it's been brutal cold. We raced into Friday night, and just the temperature change up there. If during the day it could be a little blustery, a little cold, but you're doing all right. But man, once that sun goes down or that moon comes up, oh my gosh! Sometimes that Eagle River has been brutal sometimes. And we raced up there on Friday Night Thunder. There was a 440 World Championship race up there. We raced, was it like 26 below, something like that? And we raced up there, and we won that. We won that race, matter of fact. And TJ Patrick was sponsoring it. We won that race for Friday Night 440 World Championship race. And man, it was brutal. And then I got hurt. That's a funny story. I'm not going to name the guy because I want to make someone mad, but it was a champ driver, and I gave him a chance to ride my sled. I got hurt the following up at Ironwood the week before, and I couldn't race that. That was my first World Championship race that I missed. But we went back to Eagle River, and he raced it that night, and he drove into pits, and he got off the sled and he walked away. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on with that? Didn't talk to us or nothing. I thought he was pissed off at the world about something. So later on, he comes back, he's like, man, he goes, I'm sorry. He says, I had to get to the trailer. He goes, I was frozen. He was like, just like, I couldn't move my hands, I couldn't move my arms, I had to get my helmet off. And he goes, how can you drive that junk? And he's racing the race in his job sled. So it was kind of comical. I was like, yeah, this is like a Cadillac compared to some of these sleds that we've seen race before. So it was comical.
yeah.
what's your favorite track to travel to?
What's what?
What's your favorite track to travel to?
Well, my first win was Waiwiga, and that was my first experience of like old horse tracks, stadium style racing, we'll call it. And whatever that was is Waiwiga was kind of like Dale Earnhardt to Talladega, like, when you got like 10 wins, I think at Talladega, you just won and won and won. That's how Waiwiga has been for me. I really ran good on those big horse flat tracks. I really like those. I really love Eagle River. Eagle River has been a teeter-totter for me. We've done good up there. We haven't done good. I've just never been what you call 100% consistent up there. And as soon as we think we get some consistency, then something goes wrong. Like we blew a head gasket in one of my older Magnums, and we were winning everything in sight, and then it blows a head gasket. So we were out there, and we had a crash obviously up there one time that, like I said earlier, that kind of scared me a little bit. But Eagle River has probably been my monkey on the back track for sure. I love Canada, Beausejour. Oh man, talk about Salem Speeds, that kid track up in Beausejour. I love that track too. That is a great track to race.
That's a big track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably the biggest flat track that we run on for sure. And then
The second biggest would be Alexandria.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, Jeff Carroll had Alexandria going, brought back the Dayco Spectacular type thing track. That was undoubtedly a fun track. Bank track, big flat stadium track that had banks. And man, you could really zing around that track. That was fun.
Yeah, so.
And Anago, Wisconsin, they had a good track, same thing. Little banking. That would be fun to bring some of those tracks back again, but I don't know. That's a major feat. Now, of course, we all loved Ironwood. Ironwood was great. I don't know.
Yes. That's a shame it's not going to run this year.
What was that?
That's a shame it's not going to run this year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Now we've got another comment that's come in. Our friend David at Alaska Railroad says he's planning to be in Eagle River this year again. He said he wishes his back wasn't messed up because he misses racing his Polaris TXL. And then also James Whiteside says, did you guys go to Heydays this year?
No, I haven't been in Heydays in a long time. We're so busy building cars. I mean, my business has changed so much. We used to go to Heydays. We used to go to Princeton. I haven't been able to get up there. We're that time of year. We're building cars year round, but I mean, we're still so busy in the car season, car shows, finishing up builds for the summer before we get into our winter builds for cars. So it's been hard for me to go to swaps and stuff like that because it just seems like life is 100 miles an hour and there's always something going on every weekend. So
Sure, sure. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, I know in the past we've talked about a project you have in the works, and that is a RUPP museum. And I wanted to check in and see how that's coming along and when you think that might be opening.
Well, the building's all enclosed, and we got some pallet racking. We're gonna stack all the sleds that I don't take to the shows. They're all restored, but they just sit there and look pretty, like like these. They just great. So it comes down to time. Before COVID, I had 9 people working here. After COVID, I got 5. So it's just times have changed, and and when we're doing stuff like that, it's like there's a lot of favors that go on here. It's like, hey, could you help me on Saturday? And then those guys say, hey, can you help me out? So it's it just takes some time to do stuff like that. But the building's all enclosed. We've got the structures to store the sleds, put the sleds up on pallets. And I really want to get it all done because I want to really put on display. I got some really cool stuff. I got a lot of Gene's original racing equipment. I got one of the 73 Magnums. I got his helmets. I got his jackets, pants, medals that he won. I mean, so it's all got to be shown. It's all got to be in display. So one day soon, hopefully, it will be all completed. But there's a thing called a job that gets in the way for a lot of my life.
Oh, absolutely. It has to be a priority for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: once you're ready for the big unveiling, please keep me in the loop on that. I'd love to do something live here on the podcast to let people know that that it's open and ready for viewing.
Okay.
Oh, and we've got another comment that's come in. Let's see. Stephen Perrick Jr. says Supermod 250 Cup race at Wausau. Could it be a RUPP?
Yeah, it could be. I got second 2 years ago behind Aaron Ruder. He has a Merc. He's got a real fast Merc. I got second, and then actually won it. So I think it was, was it Perry or one of the guys? They actually sponsored the 250 Supermod class, so they got like one of those wrestling world championship belts. So that'd be neat to hang on the wall. So I really.
For sure. And then James Spranger says he hopes to see you guys at Eagle River.
Oh yeah, we'll be there for sure.
Cool deal.
I'm planning to go down there. I'm planning to go down there next year for the 50th.
Nice.
Nice. Now, one of the things I was going to ask, and I'm waiting till close to the end here for a specific reason, is with your camera person, is it going to throw them off if they take the camera off the tripod and bring us in close for some close-ups on these sleds? And if he's able to do that, if maybe you could talk up some of the details on these sleds, we can get a closer look at them. Yes. Oh yeah.
So like I said, you can take a magnet. This is all steel, just like the original RUPP bulkheads were. They were all steel, now aluminum. So they're a little bit heavier than I think other supermods, but it doesn't bother us. I mean, they do good, and so we don't really pay attention too much on the weight thing. So
yeah, beautiful.
And then this one's got belt aluminum heads. We're allowed to have that kind of stuff done, and so those were custom made heads out of a machine shop I had designed, or they had designed and made for us. That 300 is going to get belt aluminum heads. We're going to cut heads for that yet, but.
So when you cut the heads, you made the fins bigger?
Yep. And it's belt aluminum, so it dissipates heat a lot better. Everybody asked me what's the penny about. So this penny, it's a 1975 penny to go with the sled, 1975. And that started when Caitlin was just a little squirt, and she came up with me with pennies, and every penny was the year of the sled. So we had 3 sleds, and she put pennies, but she gave me a 75 penny for this sled last year. And then, but when she was small, and actually that year, I crashed in the WC. And then, so the sled got taken out of the hay bales, and then, we got taken off the track, and we were done. And then at that time in the summer, the fall, Eagle River was having it was called the reunion, and it was down on the track. It was a swap meet and grass drags and show. So we went down on the grass, Well, Caitlin, like I said, she was a little squirt. She could run off and do her thing, So here we find her. She's up in the corner, turn one, looking at through all the grass, trying to find the penny that got fell off
Did
the
she
hood.
find it?
She never found it. No.
Wow, that's cool. She was looking for it though.
But yeah, they're all fun sleds. They handle great. They're all kind of built the same. But there's a little bit of differences between three, but I've always wanted to have like three exactly the same sleds, feeling that you can get off one, hop on the other one, even though they're different CCs, but
Yeah.
they all handle and work the same, and that's what these three do. So,
Nice.
and I've really fallen in love with the 250 Supermod class. This is going to be my first year on the 300. It's a Kohler 300, and there's some pretty potent 300s out there, so that's going to be really fun. We made really good power on the dyno. The sled handles great, so I think it's going to be competitive right out of the gate. But you know how that goes. So
Yes.
and our
Very
skis
cool.
are nothing exotic. I mean, Dermont Wall, he gave me a little clinic on shocks and angles. So what you see here is the angle of a shock that Dermont taught me way back when they were racing Articats in the 70s. And, I know today there's so many exotic skis out there, but this basically starts as a derby ski or a North Star ski. Sometimes, I like both skis, but, it doesn't, I'm not like loyal to one of those brands, but I do buy it from both. But we just kind of alter them a little bit and make our own ski out of the existing ski that we bought. And, but that ski shock angle and some other things that Dermont taught me, I think is really played in why my skis handle so good. And they're just a basic ski leaf spring, no trickery. There's not much going on here. But as people know, my sleds do handle very well. So I think Dermont was onto something, and I think we polished that up a little bit, and they work really well.
Nice. Yeah. That time with him sounds like it really paid off.
Yeah.
And we have some more comments coming in. We've got David from Alaska Railroad says, good looking snow machines. He said his heart is thumping, and he's not the only one. I can feel mine pumping away as well. And Joe Zenert says Kohler Powerhouse, and he's got the strong arm muscle icon there. And then James Whiteside says, just sitting there, they look like they're running 90. And then here's the big question. James Spranger wants to know if we can hear any of them run.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't fired them up. They're all been fogged from last year, and
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. But I wish I would have known that. I would have got some running for you.
That's all right. That's all right.
If I started this one, that would fool some people, wouldn't it? And spark plug wires.
That would be impressive. Nice.
So, how many RUPPs do you have for your museum collection?
Well, I've got probably close to 400 RUPPs here now, but they're not all going to be in there. There's part sleds and some that just are for sale that need to be fixed up. But there's going to be probably at least 20 pretty high potent precious sleds, 600 Magnums, 800 Magnums, Gene's original 73. I don't know what I've got. I've got something to do with the 74 RUPP third dimension. There's titanium, there's magnesium. Not quite sure the whole history. The guy that bought the sled way back in 75 told me that it's the remains of a RUPP third dimension, but I haven't been able to verify that 100%, but it does actually have real third dimension parts on it.
That's a big collection.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I got a lot of prototype stuff too. I've got a 73 Nitro prototype. There's like 13 pieces, I believe, that were made for the sled that didn't hit production. So that's a really cool sled. I just got that back from my buddy Raymond Ray out in Maine or somewhere out east he is, but New Hampshire, yeah, something like that.
Is that Ray Peranto?
Yeah, that's him. Yep.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's in Derby, Vermont, just probably 10 miles from where I'm sitting right now.
Cool.
Great guy, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
that
ahead.
was my sled. I sold it to Armin. Armin sold it to Ray, and Ray sold it back to me.
Wow, that's funny.
What comes around goes around, eh?
Yes, and I know both of them well, Armin and Ray. I know them both well. I see them at a lot of the local shows.
Well, that's a good view.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of offset steering. We can do that in Supermod. Super stock like Caitlin's sled, you can't do that. But I like leaning as far off as I can, and that offset steering really helps. Because here's my steering post, it's the way I offset, but not everybody does that, but I like it.
Now, David from Alaska Railroad is saying 400 RUPPs in your collection. He's saying, can you spare me that 76 Magnum?
Give me a call. I got a few.
There we go. And speaking of that, let me pop your number and your information back on the screen. Do you want to do a quick shameless plug for your business?
Yeah, we've been selling RUPP parts for 20 years now, and that's another thing with my business. We're so doggone busy in the body shop, and it kind of alters me to being that really good RUPP salesman guy. I mean, so many people call and then I don't get back to them until 2 days later, so I apologize for all that, but it's just called owning a business, and I'm only one guy, and you got to talk to me about the RUPP parts. So just everybody in the RUPP world just understand it's very busy, and we have a booming business here between the body shop and the RUPP shop, and we do the best that we can.
Sure. Totally understand. And then we've got another comment that's come in. Oh, here's Caitlin. She says it's because you race with your knee on the running board.
Yeah.
Must be the offset steering.
Yeah, I'm a knee in the rail. It's called knee in the rail racer, and I got over the years I've got a lot of crap about that, but that's just I started racing that way when I first started racing, and I just feel the most comfortable that way. It doesn't. I don't know, Caitlin. She one time she was racing. She's like, "How in the hell can you race like that?" And I'm like, and I said to her, "How in the hell can you race like that the way you race?" So
Sure, it's all what you're used to, for sure. So I can't believe this hour has flown by. So that means it's time for kind of closing statements. Did you have, in the few minutes we have left, did you have any closing thoughts, parting words you can think of?
yeah, I mean, we got a lot of followers, a lot of fans. I appreciate it all. We do the best we can. I mean, we're kind of like, the only super mod RUPP racers out there. There's some super stockers out there and some stock ones, but Jace Berry, he has some really badass RUPPs also, and but I don't know what his racing programs are this year. But I mean, we've been in this for 23 years, and I've flown the red RUPP flag for all this time, and I get a lot of following and a lot of fanfare, and I really do appreciate it. And I really do appreciate my wife for all the night times away and times on the road and we're racing, and I spent a lot of time away from Caitlin and Becky when we were younger, but they understood and they're okay with it, and Caitlin understands it. When she started racing, she knows what it's all about, and then so I really owe them all the love in the world that I can give them for that. And then of course my guys, I mean, same thing. I mean, we're working many hours during the day for the business, and then at nighttime is when we work on our snowmobiles. So it's a labor of love for sure, and I got to thank those guys for all their hours and efforts also.
Yeah, for sure. And Rob, any final thoughts?
Oh, you guys do a great job with RUPPs. Yep. Good looking machines, and you made them look even specialer.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate that.
And then we've got a last comment that's come in. David from Alaska Railroad says, "Thank you for the awesome show. I will be dreaming of Magnum sleds tonight, all night." And he won't be alone on that either.
On a sad note, I don't know if if you guys follow this or not, but actually the founder, Mickey RUPP, he passed away a 2 months ago, something like that now. So
wow.
Yeah, he was in his 80s and lived a good life. I mean, I've talked to him many times, and one really cool thing was way long time ago, I had a 74 Nitro 2. It only had 86 miles on it. It was brand new, looked brand new, just never got rode, and it was kept up very nice. And Mickey was the one that actually invented that sled himself, and he actually bought it from me. So it's like kind of weird how that all happened. Like here, I'm selling a RUPP snowmobile to the inventor of RUPP snowmobiles.
Yes,
that is ironic.
And then that sled he donated. In Ohio, they have some kind of museum there. There's a lot of businesses in Ohio. Ohio is a very big manufacturing state, and that's where RUPP was made. And there is now I don't know, maybe I'll call it a museum or something, but there is a big section there for RUPP Industries, Mickey RUPP, and he donated that 74 Nitro 2 to that organization, so it's on display.
Is that in Mansfield, Ohio?
Yeah, Mansfield, Ohio. Yeah, that's where RUPP was made. I'm not sure where the museum is at or that display is at, but it is in Ohio. I know that.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
Great
cool.
collection you have.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Bill and all your team there and your family for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you to Rob, as always, and for having such excellent questions to ask them. And one last comment that's come in. James Whiteside says, great interview tonight. We appreciate that. And as always, the last word goes to AMSOIL. Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone. And catch you in 1 week's time. We'll have another podcast this time next week.
Cool.
Great show, Mike.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about AMSOIL. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your AMSOIL products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what AMSOIL is and why you should consider using AMSOIL products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. AMSOIL is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses AMSOIL for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that AMSOIL is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because AMSOIL doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And AMSOIL likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of AMSOIL is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction and drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, AMSOIL says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the AMSOIL bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the AMSOIL. AMSOIL's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero.
Wow.
If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So AMSOIL's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running AMSOIL than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And AMSOIL is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that AMSOIL has available.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the AMSOIL experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
AMSOIL has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, AMSOIL will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. AMSOIL sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value. And this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering AMSOIL. Is that correct?
It is.
Wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an AMSOIL order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the Preferred Customer Program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click add to cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click view cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click checkout now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an AMSOIL account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to AMSOIL. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for AMSOIL under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your AMSOIL preferred customer program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters free DVD requests, so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering AMSOIL as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from AMSOIL, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from AMSOIL. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the AMSOIL marketing plan. AMSOIL has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that's I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number, this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing AMSOIL for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with AMSOIL. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate AMSOIL leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes. And just by wearing my AMSOIL hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about AMSOIL. People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
AMSO's a fun business. AMSO's been around since 1968. You know, it was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the AMSOIL products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the AMSOIL products or to join the AMSOIL team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.